Okay, we've done several things, mostly dealing with some technical problems. So this video isn't as complete as it ought to be. And another thing that we need to understand in the class is there's a distance section that's compressed, that's actually part of this class. So I'll be addressing distance students as well as you. Okay, so I'm going to address the distance students for just a second. The two things that we went over regarding the syllabus is in this course, we pretty much do the same things you do in the pre-calculus course, but we do them early. I haven't said that to this group. You can come in, but don't walk in front of the camera.
Okay.
Okay? And you can rearrange the chairs any way you like. We'll sort that out whenever we get here. Okay, so again, we do the same things here we do in the pre-calculus class. Okay? So we do them early and we do just enough of it that then when you see it in the pre-calculus class, you understand it. And some people take this course and are enrolled in pre-calculus. We're still going to see the stuff that you're going to see in pre-calculus. You just see this much of it when you need to say about this much. Okay. And that's kind of the way I run this course. And it's worked well, as I've said. Nobody has made an A in my pre-calculus classes that wasn't taking this class. Okay. And well, that's all I'm saying. Okay. And there haven't been that many days. Okay, but they've all come from people who are taking this class. Okay, now moving on. Oh yeah, the other thing, two things distance students need to know. If you can pass a test in this class, which are quite a bit easier than tests in the pre-calculus class, you can pass this course and get an S instead of a U. Doesn't affect your point average, but an S looks better than a U. And of course, an S means that you learn what you need to learn. The only way you get a U, though, is if you don't pass the pre-calculus. Okay. If you pass pre-calculus, you pass this course. Okay. If you don't pass pre-calculus, you can still pass this course by succeeding in the test for this course. And that would then mean that you should be well prepared to repeat pre-calculus and be successful. Okay. Now, hopefully nobody has to repeat. Everybody did pretty well on these problems. Now, in class, I posed the problems, questions. If you're a distance student, stop the video right now and do these. That's it. Okay. Now I'm going to do them. Don't you watch, do them. All right. Okay. So 2 times 3 plus 4. Okay. Now, if we write that out, 2 times 3 plus 4 raised to the second power plus 1 means 2 times 3 plus 4 squared plus 1. And that's the way we would group it because of the order of operations. And everybody got the order of operations right. I only saw one mistake. Somebody multiplied 4 by 2 instead of raising it to the second power, but that's really easy to fix. Okay. So everybody in the class did well with that. Now, if you're a distance student and you haven't worked this and you just saw me work it, you've screwed up. Don't screw up. Okay. Do what I say. And if you haven't done these problems, do them because I'm going to do them and I don't want to do them after you've done them. You're not going to learn anything if you watch me do them without trying it yourself and see what you mess up. Okay. Now, here, well, this is actually very simple. Okay. 5/8 plus 7/8. Well, how many eighths do you have here? Normally I ask you, show them with your fingers. You got that many, right? And how many eighths do you have here? You got 7 of them. Now you add those, and most of you don't have 6-fingered hands, so you can't tell me how many eighths you got using your fingers. You can't count that on your fingers, and I don't want anybody taking their shoes off. Okay, but 5/8 and 7/8 means 5 plus 7 eighths. You got this many, and you got this many, so you got this many. And that's 12 eighths. And of course, that can be reduced. You can reduce 12 eighths down to Well, you divide this by two and divide this by two, you get 6/4. But then you can do it again. You divide the 6 and the 4 by 2 and you get 3/2, which is 1.5. And I don't really care much about the 1.5 thing. We usually, in a pre-calculus course, everything is pretty much an improper fraction. But of course, you should know how to express an improper fraction as a mixed number. Okay? So everybody got this. Okay? Well, almost everybody. One person tried to use a common denominator and got confused in those rules and stuff like that. So you don't need that, okay? Now, sometimes you do have to find a common denominator because what I said was you got this many eighths and this many eighths. You gotta have the same denominator so you can see how many of these you have and how many of these you have and add them together. Okay. So that was good. That was pretty easy. Everybody got this one. Maybe on a second try, but everybody got it. Everybody got themselves refreshed, okay? Now, what are your rules for multiplication? You can add the same thing to both sides, you divide both sides by the same thing, you multiply by the same thing, and add the same thing to both sides, right? So we do it. And in order to get x, we've got 2x plus 6 equals 20. We subtract 6. A lot of people write that out like this. 2x plus 6 equals 20 minus 6 minus 6. I don't like that. I really don't like that. But if you put an equal sign here, I like it just fine. Okay? You're subtracting something that equals something from something else that equals something else. If these two are equal and these two are equal, which they are, then you're going to get something. Okay, I want to see an equal sign there. I don't want to see sloppy thinking that doesn't go back to the basic principles. Basic principles, you add equals to equals, you get equal things. Okay. So that gives us 2x equals 14. And here, of course, 6 minus 6 is 0. So we get 2x equals 14. Same thing. Okay. And then we divide 2x by 2. And you get x equals 7. Of course, it work out the same over here. Okay. I went through that pretty quickly because, oh, gee, we still have 8 minutes. That's simple. Is this and since you don't know what's happened here earlier, but I'm lucky if I can even find the screen to look at. Okay. All kinds of just totally bizarre things. This is really bizarre. So presumably, I'm still recording. Okay. Now, for distance students especially, I want to talk just a little bit about function notation. So here's the one thing you got to know. And if you're in my class, you're going to have to know this. And people always have trouble with it. Not everybody. But let's say we just got f of x equals x squared plus 5. Okay. So if I write down f of 7, What's that for you? Write it down if you know. And don't feel bad if you don't know, because I was in a really tough calculus class, which I got through okay. But I didn't know this. There were other things I didn't know. Okay, so don't feel bad if you don't know. Okay, now if you're a distance student, you should have figured this out or realized that you don't know. Okay, don't know, that's all right. It's really not difficult. Look. I have here F with an X here, right? And here I have an F with a 7 here. Okay, so what's happened is X now has a value 7. And if X is 7, then this X is 7. Does that make sense? Focus on that and replay that little blurb there as often as you need it, or get it into your head one way or another. Okay? So if X is 7, then X is 7, and we get 7 squared plus 5. And of course, that's 49 plus 5. And what's that? 93 or something? It's 54. Okay. Good, right?
That's what I got raised. Hopefully.
Oh, another thing is, in class, when the recorder is on, for privacy purposes, we don't want anything that identifies you. Okay, so if you laugh, you know, disguise your laugh somehow. Okay. So, I'm seriously, laughing wouldn't necessarily identify you. So we don't walk in front of the camera, and we don't talk unless the record's off. But I wish we could do it otherwise. It's more spontaneous. I really hate it. I think it's an overkill on privacy laws. That we're not allowed to post videos that people can identify themselves.